Oh, I almost forgot about this old motor we just shot up the other day.
Right.
We got to get this thing out of here and take it to the scrapyard.
Yeah.
It's taking up space in the driveway. Anyway, we'll take it tomorrow when we go to the dump. What do you think?
Yeah.
All right, let's go work on the tractor. What in the world? How'd you get here? Stefan! Stefan, come over here.
Yeah.
Did you put this motor here?
No.
How'd it get off the pallet?
I don't know.
You know, that's weird. And something else is strange. I can't quite put my finger on, but it's different. Anyway. Whoever carried this over here sure is strong. Probably was Colt. All right, now don't move. So anyway, Stefan, I can't wait to get that Predator lawnmower up and running. It's gonna be so cool, huh? Where'd that old motor go? Did you take it?
No.
Did you move it?
No.
Did you see anyone else move it?
I didn't.
I hope you're not messing with me.
No.
All right, anyway, let's get back to work on that old tractor.
Yeah.
I guess we'll find that old motor later. Let's get back to work on this John Deere tractor. What do you think? Ah! Hey, come here, get in here. Look out there. Right over there across the creek in the tree line. Right over there by that log. It's watching us. I think I'm gonna go over there and get it. It was right here. Where'd it go? Still tastes like oil. Smells like a little bit of gunpowder. It's up in them woods. I'm sure it'll be back.
Maybe it was me.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Jason and this is Tennessee Mountain Homestead. And today I'm back in the shop and we're going to be working on the old John Deere mud mower again, so stay tuned. Last episode, we had this engine plate tacked in here. Now it's fully welded in. I also cut a relief here for the oil filter on the motor. It was a little bit too tight. And we came in here on the back side and welded everywhere I could, everywhere it makes contact. So the plate's all welded in, it's where I like it. Next, I need to get the motor bolted on this plate and in line with that transmission pulley. I'll be back. All right, I got the motor back on, and now we're trying to get it on the same plane or line as the transmission pulley. What I got to work with here is this frame rail. It's nice and flat, and as you can see, that pulley is 2 inches from the frame to the center of the pulley, and that's the transmission pulley. I've got to get it to where the engine is also 2 inches on center. And I got to get it so it's straight. So what I'm going to do is attach a piece of angle iron on the inside of this frame rail so it extends out past, and I can measure it from both sides and make sure we're orientated nice and straight like. And then we're going to go ahead and mark our holes on the engine block. We're going to drill through and bolt this thing in. As you can also see where I notched the frame to clear that oil filter. And here, these oil lines, that bottom one's going to interfere how it is, but I'm not going to put the cooler back on the engine how it was. I'm going to mount the cooler up in the grill. So maybe instead of cutting more steel out of here, what I'll do is I'll take this barb fitting out of the block, maybe change them both out to 90-degree fittings. So that way, you know, or just this one, whatever works. You know, if we have to cut some steel here, that's what we'll do. Be back in a minute. Gonna have to make a little chop. My boy when I need him. So right there you can see I got it right about where I want it. Now I'm just going to take a Sawzall and cut down the extra clearance on the sides there. That's right, Private Pile. We're close. We got plenty of clearance on this one, but this one I need to file out a little more. All right, we're back. So, I got these things notched out, clearanced. They're looking pretty uniform. And like I said before, I am going to weld something to this, or reinforce it with like a piece of U shape here around there, weld it. You know, something to make it, you know, a little bit stronger, because that's an integral part of the frame right there. I don't know how important that is or how weak it is now or whatever, but I did weld that engine plate in there, and that stiffened it up. So regardless, that's not important. What is important is that we got our clearance. I mean, we got our space. We got, focus. Anyway, you get the point. We got our 2 inches off the frame, front and back. 2 inches to the center of the pulley. So now that we got our 2 inches front and back, what we got to do next is get this engine bolted in here. So I got to get those holes marked out on the engine block and transfer them down to the engine plate so I can drill them out. Only issue is I'm having a real hard time getting any kind of a utensil in there. A Sharpie, or I was thinking about maybe shooting some spray paint down, you know, and it would print in the hole. But I don't want to get paint all over my motor. And I really don't see a better way. Plus that the left side back corner is real tight. Really, I can barely even get my hand in there. So I have an idea. I'm gonna take this sacrificial Sharpie and I'm gonna cut it off. And if it works, remember, you saw it here first. Ooh. Got Sharpie stuff everywhere. Cut off Sharpie and a pair of needle nose pliers. I just got it all marked out. Let's see if it works. All right, so it worked great. As you can see, these are the elongated holes in the block. There are 2 holes on each side of the other side, 2 individual holes, but I want to use the outside holes. So this is the side right here that I couldn't really hardly get to, but I got my arm, I did a little reach around right in through the bottom here, and I got my arm up in here, my hand, and I was able to scribble that Sharpie. I couldn't see which hole, it was blind, but I got both of them. Anyway, let's get this thing drilled out, and let's get this engine bolted in here once and for all. So now I'm going to use a Starrett center punch and a 1/4 inch bit to get these holes started here in this plate. Next, we're going to step it up to 3/8. Now, I don't want these holes to be exactly 3/8 of an inch. I need a little bit of play because I'm sure it's not perfect, even though it's probably close. But I'm going to go ahead and step it up to, I think this is a 27/64. And I believe I'm also going to elongate these holes the same as the engine has. It's like an elongated hole on one side. That would give me a little bit of movement, you know what I mean? So there's my mounting points. And I did not elongate those holes because there really is no reason to do that. But the holes are oversized by about a 1/16 or so. That would give me a little bit of play. And once it's bolted down tight, it ain't going nowhere. So we've got the motor bolted in now. And next comes what I think is going to be the hardest part of this build, is getting the transmission, which is the pulley setup, and the clutch, the release mechanism set up. Now, what I had planned on in the past couple days is mimicking a wheel horse setup. Now, there's going to be some obvious differences because the wheel horse has that whole slab side out on the whole side of the tractor is on the same plane, and all the pulleys are there, so it makes it, in my opinion, it makes that fairly a simple project to modify or work on. This here had that variator deal in it, which is now, that's out the window because I don't want to mess with none of that. So my plan is to use the flat side of this frame right here as like my template to mimic the flat, plane of the wheel horse. Only I need to build everything out so that the pulleys are 2 inches off the edge of the frame to the center, similar to this transmission pulley and this engine pulley. It's going to present a few challenges, and before I start any of that, there's a few more items on this tractor frame that I don't need, like these deck hangers. This is the old brake pedal, this old belt guide, and possibly I was thinking about if I could use this existing. I don't know what this was for, I forget. But this bracket here, I was thinking if I could maybe utilize it for the pulley that's gonna go up and down and release tension on the system. So what I'm gonna do first is, like I said, I'm gonna remove this stuff, and then we'll be back and we'll continue working on it. Smoked that one. A lot of the metal on this mower was extremely soft. I cut through what I think it was about 1.25 inches, 1.5 inches of steel the other day. It was one of the shafts that ran through for the deck lift. It was solid steel. I cut right through that, I don't know, 30, 45 seconds with a Sawzall. For some reason, these deck hangers are super hard. I guess it's right where they welded it, so that might make sense. Let's see if this blade will finish it off. One down, one to go. The Sawzall blade is just skating on that thing like ice. It won't even start to cut this deck hanger. So I'm gonna make a futile attempt and try to heat it up, maybe break the temper. I won't waste your time watching me heat this thing up, so I'll be back. Oh yeah, you wouldn't want to forget that was hot and grab onto it. Hopefully it broke the temper. So heating it up definitely made a difference. It's still pretty hot right now, but it's the Sawzall blade's making progress. Take that! I got the deck hangers cut out of the way. The old brake pedal shaft I got rid of. The belt guide. All that's left is this piece right here, this bracket. And I was really hoping that I'd be able to reuse it for the mechanism that the pulley's gonna have to go up and down on the tension of the belt. However, it's distracting, and I don't want to try to base my whole setup around trying to reuse this. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to cut this out. And I say unfortunately because this is easy. I can cut that out of here in no time. It's this block of steel right here, this piece of probably square tubing it's welded. Thankfully, it's just tack welded, a couple spot welds right here, here, and here. Around the edges, it's just spot welded, but a couple sides, it's got a full weld. So I'm gonna have to work on getting this out of here, because what I want, here, back up, look here, what I want is this whole flat side of the frame to be clean, so that I can have basically a blank slate to get this setup going with, this pulley setup. And I'm gonna show a picture in a minute here on the screen of what I'm going for, to mimic the old wheel horse setup that the big timers use in all their lawnmower off-road racing and all that. And from what I've seen several videos. It's tried and true, and that's kind of what I want to duplicate here. It's not going to be able to be exact, because I think those old wheel horses, the transmission input pulley is, in the pictures it looks like it's down lower, and then the engine is way up high. It looks like it's about just judging from the pictures that I've seen, and you'll see on the screen here. looks like it's about 10 inches to a foot difference if you consider the center line of the pulleys. So the engine's looks like it's about a foot higher. And then there's no obstructions because it's just the side of that tractor. And the belt just kind of goes downhill towards the clutch mechanism. I don't have that much difference. I might have about 5 1/4 center to center between my engine pulley and my transmission pulley. On top of that, I haven't tried yet. I'm going to get a belt here in a minute. I got a spare belt laying around just to try to line it up because I think right here, look over here. When the belt comes off the top of this pulley, it might interfere with the frame right here. So I might have to do some cutting here. I don't know yet. But just a lot of things to consider. Just trying to get this thing set up. So we'll be back in a minute. I've been alone all morning out here working on this thing, and I finally got my cameraman back. And I also brought in my new diversity hire. This is Duke, for anyone who's new to the channel who hasn't met him yet. This here is Duke boy. He's a good boy. All right, let's get back to it. I knew you'd see it my way. All right, come here and look at this. So we got this whole mess cleaned up out of here. No more bracket, no more tube steel here. So we're gonna start, I'm gonna start trying to place the pulleys where they need to go. And so we'll be back. Here's my pulley setup. Look here. This here's what I'm trying to duplicate. Okay, look here. So I got magnets holding up these pulleys. They're not exactly where they're gonna go, but I'm trying to get a rough measurement for my belt. So I gotta get a belt to mock this up. But look here, starting down here. This is gonna be the pulley that lets off the tension off the belt. Yeah, so that's it. So I gotta go run and get a belt for testing purposes, and we'll be back. After 2 trips to Tractor Supply, which is like an hour-and-a-half round trip each, I think I finally got the correct size belt and a solution to how I'm gonna mount these pulleys in here to mimic that wheel horse setup as best I can. Here, hold on, look. So, what I got here is a 94-inch belt. Now this pulley right here, the one on my right hand, is an idler pulley with a V groove in it, and it's going to be pushing up, creating tension on the belt system. The pulley in my left hand is an idler pulley. It's going to be fixed. Now this one here in my right hand is going to be able, when I hit the clutch, it's going to pull down this way forward towards this pulley and release the tension on the system. And right now I'm putting tension on the system. So I got magnets behind them so that I can help me reference where they're going to be located more or less. Now this pulley here is not going to be able to be installed in the same relationship as the picture I've got of the wheel horse mower. It can't be like that one's offset just forward of this one, but it can't be there because I don't have enough space on this frame and the way this is set up to have that. So I don't think that's so important either. I think what's important is the way this here works. This pulley's job will just be to keep the belt off of this cross member, and also to keep the belt wrapped around the engine pulley as tight as, as much as possible. So my other solution is, this is another pulley I have, but this is my solution for mounting. Once I determine exactly where I want these pulleys to be, I'll drill this is a 5/8 bolt, grade 8. So what I'll do is, once I get it located, I'll drill a 5/8 hole in the frame. And I got these shaft collars. So that's going to lock the pulley onto the shank of the bolt. No problem. And the threads, see, this needs to be on a 2-inch center, the same as the front and back pulley. Just like that. So I'll drill the 5/8 hole through the frame. And I've got some 5/8 inch square washers, which I'll put on each side of the frame. And then I'll have a nut and another nut, and it'll be bolted tight, and it'll essentially be sticking straight off the frame. Now that may or may not be strong enough. However, this is for testing and getting it into position. Once it's in position, my plan is at the moment will be, this has to be serviceable. I'll have to be able to change these pulleys out. So I'll cut the head of that bolt off, and all I'll have is these shaft collars on there. And then with all that meat on each side, these 5/8 inch, and I think they're like 3/16 thick square washers, or I'll use something similar. I'll reinforce the frame to prevent it from torquing, so it'll hold the bolt nice and stiff like this, straight out. And it's not going to be that far off. Like I said, it's going to be, you got 2 inches to the center of this pulley. So you're talking about, after the thickness of the metal, you're talking about maybe 3/4 of an inch of 5/8 bolt shank. And we'll test it like that. We're gonna, we'll make it as strong as we can like that. And if it needs anything else, my plan is, I could put gussets on this, like little triangles, weld them on, or some kind of angled support back to the frame. So one way or the other, we're gonna make this strong enough. And that's my plan as of right now. That's the best way I can see to do this. And I think this is probably the first John Deere with a wheel horse setup that's going to be in existence. I don't know, but I've never built a custom pulley belt system before for anything. I've always just the mowers that we have and the lawn tractors we have that I've modified, I've only used what was already there, and just changed pulley sizes or whatever the case. This is my first custom setup. And it's definitely a lot of work, but it's definitely going to be interesting. And I don't see any reason why it won't work. So anyway, we're going to try to get these pulleys mocked up and located and drilled and in position. And we'll see you soon. After a lot of ciphering, head scratching, and pondering the universe, I came up with this device right here. This is going to be my clutch, and I'm making it modular so I can take it in and out of the tractor. This is going to be the tensioner pulley. This here is going to be what turns this shaft. And what I did was, because I don't know if it's going to work straight off the bat, so I'm just mocking it up for testing. I got these shaft collars that I'm going to tack weld to these levers, and then I can try different angles, and just by tightening the set screw in there, it'll hold it, wherever. And so come over here. So that device is gonna live right here on that plate, and it's gonna temporarily, I'm gonna bolt it to the edges of the frame flanges right here. And then this is my clutch pedal, which this is the last piece that I left in here. It's already got a lever. I'm not sure if it has enough throw, but we're going to try. So this is going to attach with a rod to the other lever on that shaft, and when you push the clutch, it'll disengage the pulley. And I'm going to keep working on it, and we'll be back. We did it, son. Check this out. This modular clutch system I built, dude, I just used, like, I guess you could call it common sense. I'm not as dumb as I look. Anyway, check this out. So I haven't welded any of this yet. This is all just spot welded for testing. But everything, look at the tightness on that. Anyway, I don't even know if I need another pulley down here. I might put one right here and weld a piece of sheet metal or a piece of steel right in between these two, so it'll double as a belt a belt keeper. And if there's one pulley right here, just push it up a little bit. But I don't know. I don't know if I need that. If anyone's watching and anyone knows a lot more than I do about belt systems, put it in the comments. Anyway, I still have to build the belt guides, those pieces of sheet metal that keep the belt in this exact shape when the clutch is released, so the tension comes off the pulleys. Both on here, come over here. Right here, look. So we need to build a piece of sheet metal, or probably 1/8 inch flat stock, and it'll come up here and it'll wrap just 1/8 of an inch or 1/4 of an inch around this pulley here. And I'll use these engine threaded bungs to mount it. And then we need one on the bottom side. And what's going to happen is when the clutch is pushed in, the belt's going to go slack, but it's not going to be able to come out this way or this way. It's going to be kept in that shape. So then the only way it can go is forward. So it'll just come off of the pulley, so the engine can't spin it. Go back over here. So this is what we got. I got to be honest, I'm excited. I mean, a first one-off. I thought this was going to be super hard. This linkage I built right here. This came from the L120. It was like a linkage from something else. I did have to heat it with the torch and bend it, and measure from center to center on these holes, on these levers. So this lever right here. Let's see. Can you see it? Anyway, it's this one. This is the old clutch. This used to go up to the variator. And this lever right here, man, that thing was super hard. I burned up one drill bit just trying to make it the same size as this linkage, because it was just 3/8. So I made it, it had to be a little bit bigger. A brand new Walter drill bit wouldn't touch it. So what I did was, I took this old rat tail file, this round file, I broke the rat tail off of it, stuck it in this drill, and unfortunately I smoked the file, but still, this file is just this file's 1/2 inch at its fattest. But as you can see, I ran it in both ways, and it ruined the file, smoothed out the teeth on the file, but it still worked going this way and that way, that it reamed it out enough in the end that I was able to fit that thing in there, and it fits like perfect. Anyway, I thought that was interesting, and I don't know how old this file is. I've had it forever. I don't even know where I got it. I think I got it from, might have been one of my granddads, but I was willing to sacrifice this in order to make that work. But more in a minute. I really hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and it wasn't just today, it was kind of yesterday too. But anyways, I had a lot of fun, and I learned a lot doing this. I admit I was a little bit, concerned, or maybe not concerned is the word, but just a little unsure that I was going to make it work, and it actually came out pretty fantastic. I don't see any reason why this isn't going to work. It just needs to be, I need to do some testing on it, obviously. So I'm not going to go full kill mode on the welder and burn everything in just yet. And this clutch setup that I made is, like I said, it's modular. I can bolt it and unbolt it. I welded a plate under the motor so I could bolt that to it. And maybe once it's all perfected and finalized, maybe one day I will weld it all together so it's even more solid. But anyways, that's besides the point. All seriousness aside, I had a lot of fun, and I hope you guys are enjoying this build series. I'm really trying to put in effort to make this thing super cool. It's something that's going to be badass, and that's all I got. So next episode, or the next time I work on this thing, I'm going to build the belt guides that hold it in shape, so that when you push the clutch in, it slacks on the pulleys and not anywhere else. So that's what I'm going to be working on next. And then after that, we're going to procure a hydraulic brake for a 1-inch axle for a go-kart, because the input of the brake shaft on this transmission is 1-inch key. So a go-kart disc brake rotor will slide right on that, and we'll have hydraulic brakes. And I also need to get a Mikuni carburetor and an adapter kit for this Predator 670. So once we get the brakes, the carburetor, the gas pedal, and the brake, I'm going to attempt to put them on the same side on the foot panel on the fender. I'm going to put them side by side like a car, so that you'll have gas on the right, brake on the left, and we'll see if we can fit that in there and make it work. But I'm sure it's going to be great. And this clutch pedal setup, that's staying right where it's at. And otherwise, again, thanks for watching. My name is Jason, and this is the Tennessee Mountain Homestead channel. Have a good day.